mattress crunched as she rolled over on her elbow and stared at her younger brother.
"Well, you better. Miss Newby isn't going to be happy if you go tongue-tied in front of everyone. You'll never live down that shame, Zach. Well, if you'd shut up, maybe I could think of something right now." "No, you won't. I think you had better let me find the time to write something up for you today."
He said.
"I got to do it myself." "Well, then you but—"
"You children, hush and get up now,"
Adolph growled. Their soddy was 20 feet deep into the hill and 33 feet wide. It was one room, but at night Ma hung a sheet of thin muslin between herself and Pa and the children. So now Zach could see the glimmering outline of his father as Adolph stood and scratched his lean frame and then fumbled for his dirt-encrusted overalls. Adolph was the tallest and skinniest man for miles around, and Zach guessed he'd be pretty tall himself one day.
"Carrie, your mother's feeling poorly again. Get up and fix something to eat. Zachariah, we still got 4 acres of bad weeds to hoe. The good Lord only helps those that help themselves. Get up, boy. We can get one of 'em done before we eat and go to the Slater place."
Zach nodded. He reached down and pulled on his pants under the covers, threw his legs out of bed, and slipped into a canvas shirt that was stiff from dried sweat and mud. He knuckled the sleep from his eyes and hurried to the water barrel, where he dipped a scoop of creek water. Carrie stumbled up and drank as soon as he had his fill. A trickle of dirt showered down through the muslin that hung from the ceiling. Zach guessed that the cow was on the roof again. It seemed to prefer that little patch of earth to anything else on their entire 160 acres of homesteaded land. Zach heard the leather door hinges squeak, and then he felt the soft caress of the morning air. The days were already getting hot. Adolph had to crouch in the doorway, and his wide rack of shoulders filled it completely, though he stood cockeyed. A fall from a mule had broken his left shoulder so that he tipped that way. He was always in pain, though it was worse when the weather was cold.
"Come on, you two,"
he grumbled sternly as he stepped outside. Adolph walked 3 paces out into the yard and dropped to his knees. He bowed his head in prayer, but waited until Zach and Carrie were kneeling beside him before beginning the daily ritual.
"Oh, Lord,"
Adolph began, his face lifted to the burning sunrise so that his spiky whiskers gleamed like red nettles.
"We ask you to protect us from Indians and locusts, from devil cattlemen, and from all kinds of other pestilence. We are your people, doing your will as best that we can. We need a good rain pretty bad, Lord, for the winter wheat standing in our fields. Give us the strength to earn our daily bread, and to think clean and wholesome thoughts so that we will not burn in hell through all eternity. Thy will be done, and not that of us dreadful sinners. Amen."
Adolph lowered his head.
"Carrie,"
he whispered, not even turning to look at her. Zach held his breath because, early in the morning like this, Carrie got foolish with herself and might say anything.
"I pray that Zach will think of some good words for his graduation tomorrow, and that there will be cookies and milk at the schoolhouse like last year, and that Billy—"
The back of Adolph's massive hand struck her across the cheek hard enough that the rooster, who had been listening closely, squawked and flew off his pole. Zach's fists clenched at his sides, and he forgot about the Lord as he was gripped by a mixture of hate and confusion. He knew the blow had sounded worse than it had felt, but Pa was way too hard on Carrie, and hitting her only made her hate him all the more. Zach looked at his sister, knowing he would never understand why Carrie dared to provoke their father. It scared him, made him feel guilty, too. Carrie was smallish like Ma, but she had more steel in her than any 3 grown women. That was why, although Zach towered over her by a full head,